Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be making some fun cards with our Good Vibes Crafty Courtyard kit. As of filming this video, we do have some of these kits available on our website for individual purchase. Our first card is going to be an A2 top folding card. This is going to be a super simple but adorable card. I've taken the peach cardstock that's in the kit and I've cut it 4 inches by 5 1/4. So it's going to have a little white border around it when I put it on my card front. And I've run it through my die cut machine with the Garden Gate embossing folder that's in your kit. This is a super fun geometric pattern that's in this embossing folder. And you could use the embossed or the debossed side of the paper. Either one gives you super good impression and a really fun, detailed, textured background. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to the card front. I've used the dies that are in the kit, and I've cut this little diagonal piece that has the stitch circle in the center. I've cut that out of the blue cardstock. And for my sentiment and focal point of the card, I'm going to use one of the stickers that was in the kit. So you can use these for envelope seals, but they also look really good on your cards. And before I glue this down to the card, I cut out a piece of pattern paper from the paper pack that coordinates really well with the pattern on the sticker. But I want it just to cover the bottom portion of this card, not the top. I want that to be the embossed part. So I'm just going to put this where I need it, and I'm just going to cut at a diagonal and remove anything that will show on the top of this piece. So now I'll just place this down and see if I've cut off enough of it that it won't show. There, that's going to be perfect. So I'm going to glue the pattern paper down to the bottom portion. And I cut this piece to 4 inches wide, so it's the same width as the coral colored cardstock. And now I'm going to glue down the little diagonal band. And there is our card so far, and I'm going to finish it off with some of the enamel dots. And here's our finished card. It goes together super simple and quick, but it's got that really nice texture from the embossing folder, some nice patterns and colors to create an overall really nice design. For our next card, we're also making a top folding A2 size card. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. When folded, with our layered rectangle dies, I've cut out a piece of yellow cardstock that's in the kit right on the front of the card like so. So I'm going to glue this down first. I cut another rectangle to layer just slightly smaller than the yellow cardstock in this really fun pattern that's in the pattern paper pack. I guess really fun and retro looking, also very geometric. I've cut out the diagonal piece from the die that's in the kit, but this time I'm not going to use the side that it cuts out like so and goes across the card that way. I just thought I'd flip it over and make it go the other way this time, just to be a little different. And it's okay that it's on the back. We don't worry about the stitching that's on the circle. I've also cut the little scallop circle that's in the die set, and I've stamped the sentiment, "Don't lose hope." I also took some of the small heart stamps and stamped a couple of hearts around that sentiment. I added a few foam adhesive squares to the back of my scallop circle so it pops off the card for a little bit more dimension. I'm just going to put that right in the center over that circle part of the diagonal piece. And there is our card. Another super simple but really nice design. I'm going to finish it off by adding some of the enamel dots. There, I added them in just little lines Going up and down just adds to that diagonal design. And with that pattern paper in the background, I think it looks great. For our next card, we're going to make another top folding A2 size card. And we're going to try something a little different. So I've already cut a rectangle out of the dark gray cardstock and a layering piece out of the pattern paper after I glued it on top of the gray cardstock because I wanted to make this cut with the die that's in the set. So I've cut the diagonal piece with the circle in the center out of both layers, the pattern paper and the gray cardstock. I've also used the die and cut it out of the card front. I have it taped down here, and that was to help me have a guideline for cutting it on both the card and the card front layers in the same spot. I lined them up, did the die cutting. So what we're going to do, we're going to have the bottom part of the card down here look like it's floating. We're going to remove the middle diagonal piece, and we're going to have a clear acetate sheet glued on the inside of the card. So I'm going to open up the card with this piece taped in here so I know where everything is going to go. I'm going to lay my acetate. See, I cut it just slightly smaller than the pieces on the inside. I'm going to glue it to the top part of the front of the card and this bottom part. I am not going to put glue on the diagonal piece that we cut out of the center. So let's do that. I'm using our Easy Squeeze craft glue, which is perfect adhesive for all your paper crafting needs. And it does glue the acetate sheets perfectly fine onto the cardstock. So I've put glue on the top part here. I'm going to add it to the bottom, but not the diagonal piece. And a little goes a long way. You can squeeze out tiny lines with our glue bottle. You just lightly squeeze it. It's very easy to squeeze and get the glue to come out, which is what I really like. And you just need very thin lines. Now let's add the acetate sheet. You can also use transparency sheets you can find at your local office store. I'm just going to gently press this acetate sheet into the glue. Now we have our clear piece on the inside. We're going to let that dry a few moments. We're going to fold the card closed. I'm going to gently remove the diagonal cut piece from the center of the card. Now, how fun is this? We have our top folding card and we have a clear center. So it looks like this bottom piece is just floating by itself. It's really fun. Now we can glue on our card front layers, which is that gray cardstock and the pattern paper that I cut just like the front of the card. I cut that diagonal piece out of the center. So we're going to glue these down and we're going to leave that clear part there. So now our card front looks like so. We have the pattern paper with the gray behind it. We still have this clear center, which is really fun. So now I've got the diagonal piece that was cut out of the front piece here. I'm going to put that on the inside of the card so that when the card is folded flat, it just looks like everything goes together, and it might be on the front of the card. The surprise is when you open it and you have that clear piece. It just adds to the interest of the card. And I want to get this exactly in the spot where it should go. So I'm going to try to place it here on the inside of the top of the card and hold on to it and close it and glue it down. It may take a little bit of finagling to get it just right. Another reason our glue is really nice is because you do have a few seconds once you place something down to just kind of move it in just where you want it. So I have it in the right spot now, and I'm just going to press it down. So now we have our fun card. It looks like it's one layer on the front, but when you open it up or lift the front, You see that you've got a clear piece in between. It's just a fun design, just something different. I've cut out of yellow cardstock from the kit, that scallop circle, and I stamped, "You are stronger than you think." Just a really encouraging sentiment. And I'm going to glue that down in the center, just like so. And with that scallop circle in the center, that's going to add to the strength of the card front since we have that bit of acetate in between. So here's our card. And just like I said, it looks like it's like a one-layer card. But when you start to open the card, you get that clear piece that's here with like the floating bottom of the card. I thought I'd add some of the really pretty sequins to the front of this card. And here is our finished card, a little bit of sparkle, and has that fun floating piece at the bottom of the card. Just a really fun, different look. Our last card is another top folding A2 size card. I used our stencil that's in the kit this time. Look at this super sparkly background. I love it. It's so gorgeous in person. I hope that some of that sparkle and shine comes through on the camera. This is how I did this. I made my own glitter gel and I spread it across the stencil. So I took our glossy gel and I mixed it 1 part to 1 part with our Silver Bells glitter. So you need 1 part glossy gel, 1 part glitter. So as much glossy gel as you add that much glitter, or possibly a little more. The more glitter you add, the more sparkly it's going to be, the more saturated glitter you get. You just want to make sure you mix that glitter and that glossy gel really well. Just mix it up till it's all mixed together. And you just spread it across your stencil. Peel your stencil away. Go rinse your stencil off while the glossy gel is still wet. And let this dry for a little bit, and you have a beautiful, sparkly, finished product. I love doing this with our glossy gel. I can make any color of glitter gel with all the glitters that we have. It's super fun. All right, so we're going to glue that piece down to our card base. Out of the coral piece of cardstock in the kit, I cut out the diagonal strip of cardstock with the stitch circle in the center. I thought the contrast of the silver glitter gel looked really nice with that coral cardstock. So I'm going to glue that down. Now our glue will hold the cardstock down to the glitter gel. It just may take a few extra seconds to dry. The glitter gel is going to be a more non-porous surface, meaning the glue won't soak into the glitter gel. From the die in the kit, I cut out the sentiment, "See the good." And I've also cut out the shadow layer. So I used a dark gray and a light gray. And I'm going to glue the shadow layer in the dark gray right over the center of this diagonal piece. Now we're ready to add the sentiment, "See the good." I've cut the sentiment on the light gray cardstock, but on the back of the cardstock, I added one of our adhesive sheets. So that's going to make the sentiment peel up just like a sticker, and I'm going to be able to stick it down. You just carefully peel it away from the backing. And add it to that shadow layer. And here is our finished card. I think it looks just great the way it is. It's got enough sparkle and shine with that glittery stenciled background. I'm someone who believes that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always something good that you can look forward to in each day. This is something encouraging to send someone, write them a nice note inside, to always look for the good in everything. Because no matter what you're going through, it can always be worse, right? So we always want to look towards the positive. Thank you so much again for joining me today as I created some fun cards with our Good Vibes Crafty Courtyard kit. As I mentioned before, we do have some of these kits left as of filming this video. You can check them out in pingandmain.com under the past boxes category. Until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.